Do you know what's actually scary? It's not some monster under the bed or a market crash. It's the fact that some people will spend their entire lives working like dogs and still die absolutely broke. And look, talking about people who are lazy, I'm not talking about people who just had bad luck. I'm talking about people who are destroying their own futures with 3 habits they don't even realize they have. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully, because what I'm about to share isn't some academic theory from a professor who's never held a real job. It's reality. The average person today, they wake up, they fight through soul-crushing traffic, they work for a boss they probably can't stand, they come home, exhausted, collapse onto the couch to watch Netflix, repeat it all the next morning. Years go by. But when you look at their bank account or ask about their investments, the answer is always nothing. They worked, but they stayed poor. Why? Because poor habits will always defeat good luck. That's why lottery winners end up back in the trailer park. That's why kids who inherit millions end up broke by 30. Money without new habits is like pouring water into a hand with open fingers. It's gone before you can even take a sip. Habit 1T, survival spending, eating the seed. The first habit that keeps people in the broke cycle forever is survival spending. Most people think in 30-day increments. They say, I just need to get through this month. The salary hits the account. Before the weekend is over, it's gone. Rent, bills, and then those small luxuries. A 6-eye latte every morning, a new iPhone on a payment plan they don't need, or a dinner out because they deserved it. They aren't planting anything, eating the seed. Imagine 2 guys, let's call them Dave and John. Both make 60 Zalazars a year. Dave gets his paycheck and immediately thinks about what he can get. He gets the newest truck with a $700 monthly payment because he wants to look successful. He buys the premium cable package. John, on the other hand, drives a used Corolla. He takes that $700 Dave is spending on a depreciating asset and puts it into a boring index fund or a small side hustle. 10 years later, Dave is stressed because his truck is breaking down and he has no savings. John has $250,000 and the freedom to quit his job whenever he wants. Same income, different habits. Habit 2, falling into the consumer trap. The second habit is falling into traps designed by people who want your money. Our culture is obsessed with looking rich rather than being rich. Think about Warren Buffett. The guy is one of the wealthiest humans to ever walk the earth, yet he still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31 in Zalazin. Meanwhile, I see guys making $15 an hour who will happily take out a high interest loan to buy a Wunderlander's 200 smartphone or a pair of designer sneakers. I knew a guy who finally got a decent promotion. Instead of using that extra $500 a month to kill his debt, he went straight to the dealership and leased a BMW. He felt like a king for a week. But every month, lease payment plus the high insurance bled him dry. He wasn't driving that car. That car was driving him straight into poverty. He was a prisoner to a piece of metal just to impress people at stoplights he didn't even know. And then there's the trap of fear. People say, investing is too risky. So they leave their money in a savings account, earning 0.5% interest, while inflation is at 7% or 8%. They think they're being safe, but their purchasing power is actually melting away like an ice cube in the sun. Nothing is the biggest risk of all. Habit 3, the blame game, the victim mentality. This is the most dangerous one, and frankly, who did this? It's the one our culture encourages the most. It's the habit of blaming. Poor people always find someone else to point the finger at. It's the government's fault. It's the system. It's my boss. It's because my parents didn't give me a head start. Look, life is hard. The world can be unfair. But the moment you blame someone else, you hand them the keys to your life, you're saying, I can't succeed until they change. Good luck waiting for that. Picture 2 shopkeepers on a street with no foot traffic. The first one spends all day on social media complaining that the city didn't build a parking lot nearby. He blames the economy and waits for a handout. He eventually goes out of business. The second shopkeeper says, if people won't walk here, I'll go to them. He starts a delivery service, builds a website, and starts calling local businesses. He didn't have a better location. He just refused to accept the victim label. One is a statistic, the other is a success. J.K. Rowling is a great example here. She was a single mom on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers. She had every excuse in the book to stay broke. She didn't eat her seed. She kept planting, writing page after page, until that seed became a multi-billion-dollar empire. That wasn't luck. That was a refusal to be a victim. The bottom line, poverty isn't just about what's in your wallet. It's about what's in your head. If you change the mind, the wallet eventually follows. Are you surviving, or are you growing? Are you chasing comfort, or are you building skills? Because 10 years from now, you're going to regret the chances you didn't take and the habits you were too stubborn to break. Success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. You can either pass down excuses to your kids, or you can pass down opportunities. The choice is yours. I'm Steven Crowder. Change your habits, change your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.